Hey guys, so I wanted to do a little pick a pile reading for you. It's mostly just about what you need to hear right now. So it's going to be time stamped. So after this intro, if you feel you know which pile you're drawn to, you can just go ahead and skip to that portion of the video. I'll put that timestamps info in the description. Also, I'll try to put the decks in the description as well. And as always, thank you guys for all the likes, commenting, and subscribing you guys are doing. It's really helping my channel, and it helps me know what you guys want to hear and what you guys want more of. And yeah, so this is a general reading for the collective. So just take what resonates, leave the rest. And so I'm going to want you to go ahead, just focus on the question of what you need to hear right now. Like, what is Spirit telling you right now? What do you need for this phase coming up in your life for right now? And just keep that in mind and pick the pile you're most drawn to. This is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And like I said, the timestamps will be in the description below. Hey, pile 1, so this is your pile. You chose the one with the Herkimer diamond on it. It facilitates astral travel, promotes lucid dreaming. Here, let me see if I can put that closer to you. It's connection to dream consciousness during your waking state. It's really good for mental clarity. It energizes the physical body. It amplifies energy and intention, and also amplifies, just like clear quartz, it amplifies crystals around it or with it, but it has its own energy as well. And it aids in grounding the spirit into the body. So it's a really, really good crystal. I love this. So let's get started with yours. I'm going to jump into the tarot first. Let's go like this. And I don't read reversals, so. So we've got, actually I'll show you, the Empress, the King of Pentacles, the Moon, and Page of Swords. So it's funny, right off the bat, what I see in this is this opposition. Not opposition per se, but like he's sitting this way facing this way, and she's sitting that way facing that way. And they both got their scepters, and like they're both in their realm, but they're not even seeing each other. And I know this is like a different thing than this, but it just feels very parallel. And again, I mean, here's, you know, sun and moon. Well, kind of, I mean, it's weird, but it almost looks like, you know, sun and moon type. But it's the idea of like yin yang, almost like a balancing, like one being totally opposite the other. And like, but the moon's crying there, so there's a disconnect. And then Page of Swords. Okay, so I'll just go out real quick. Empress is creative energy, coming out, new stuff, just really in a place to nurture your creations into their best self is basically what it is. So it's not just creating and leaving things, but literally like with the energy to nurture it, with that intention to nurture it, and to let it grow. King of Pentacles is a situation where, not situation, but the energy where it's almost like an investment or in investing, where it's like if somebody has the faith and trust and has a manifestation mindset to trust that things will come back, that provisions, material, wealth, all that will come back to them. It's like they have that trust and that mindset that they're able to invest in others, even if it might look risky to other people or anything like that, they trust that everything's going to work for the better. And so they keep bringing that manifestation back to them, and they keep gaining it because they keep pouring out, but also they attract the right opportunities, and they attract exactly that growth that their mindset is in. So that's that energy. So it's not just, oh, you know, really good with money and, you know, leader in money and material wealth, but it's really that like final growth mindset of being so inside and outside, understanding like the law of attraction, or operating in that way as if you do type thing, where you just constantly keep bringing it back in because you aren't holding on when you should be letting go, and you're letting go when you should be, that type of thing, to your, you know, material things. The moon can be secretive. I will say that actually, especially with this card right now, a lot of times I don't read the moon so much as secretive. I read it more so as following your instincts and going for a goal despite distractions or despite things that might be scary. But because I saw that firsthand, I'm going to say there could be some double-minded secretiveness, or an energy that feels secretive because it's double-minded, because it's showing one thing 1 minute, but really it's that, or it's showing one thing, but really it's that, you know? And even like this, in this card specifically with this deck, like the crab looks like he's like running at it. And it's like, well, who's he running to? Which one is he running to? So there's an element of, you might be not sure sometimes with people you deal with or what you're dealing with in your situation, where, or even in yourself for some of you, where you don't know what your goal is. You don't know who you're trying to be. Are you trying to be the person that's open and honest and has their heart on their sleeve and emotionally vulnerable? Or are you trying to be this stoic, like, statue that might seem kind of dark to you? Because in reality, like, I feel like for some of you, this light, there's light in that emotional vulnerability you've kind of told yourself. So that's what you want to be. That's like what you feel is your, not lightest self, but not even brightest self. I guess real self. And then Page of Swords, it's a lot of times it's a potential or messenger in a mental or emotional stance, mental or verbal stance. But a lot of times it's also being stuck in your head, having that potential to always be like, oh, well, what about this? What about this? Let me think about this first before I move. Because there's not movement yet. There's just, it's kind of just stuck in place. Like they're like surrounded by that. You'll have to excuse me too. Like I try not to give this, but I've been kind of like I'm doing these videos in succession right now, and I'm on juice brain. Like I'm I think my 3rd day of a juice fast, and I guess yesterday I did pick a pile tarot reading. I videoed it, I recorded it, and I just watched, and I guess I said on one of the cards I go, what did I say? 25 divided by 2, 7. There you go. So like, I may or may not be making sense as far as the words coming out, but hopefully you hear exactly what you're supposed to hear. That's my intention anyways. This is all bigger than me and you anyways, so it's like, everything will happen the way it's meant to be. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of struggling and fumbling over my words a little bit. Like the intuition's there, but apparently, you know, the speech to share it with you is a little bit different than my normal. But yeah, again, it's this disconnect. So because of that, not because of that, but that is showing in this. So I feel like for some of you, this is you're double-minded and you're saying one thing one time and then showing another face another time. And then some people might have trouble. Like if there's somebody with you or like, and also, I mean, Page can also be like child energy. And I kind of sense that right now. Like you're kind of being counted on by a child for some of you. So it's like, you might not know how to be an example right now because you don't know which stance you're taking. You don't know which stance, literally this direction or this direction. So you might feel that pressure too. for some of you, of like, what kind of role model can you be if you don't even know who you are, if you don't even know which face you want to show? For others of you, it's a situation where instead of it just a child's way, you're trying to go to this, you're trying to go to this energy, you're trying to figure out what you want to pursue or what you want to be in yourself. And you kind of been warring in your mind, and it sometimes seems like nothing's happening. It seems like you're just constantly double because you're not picking a side. You're just on the fence. And let me see if I see anything else in this that I haven't said yet. Let's see. Yeah, I just see the sadness with that. I see the sadness with there, and it's like you want to be that, and that might be what's shining bright, but then you also want to be solid and like a rock and like be able to be like reliable and stable. And it's just this constant warring inside you. And this could also be because, I mean, like I said, this is a general reading, so this is for the collective. This is everyone that picked pile one. This could also be, some of you might be in a relationship. There's not much relationship stuff here, but this could be a relationship or, you know, relationally how you work with people. And it's just together, like it could even be like you and a partner, and then the kid's like, mom says this, dad says this, like, what is it? And then there's this ultimately this warring in your mind, but also everyone else's mind, because no one knows what they're guiding towards. Because if you're pushing one way and then your partner or, you know, someone else is pushing another way, then, you know, you could be questioning, okay, well, what message am I sending? For those of you that this is with a kid, or this is all over the place. This could be business, business stuff, business, money, material stuff, those two. And then this is mental and verbal. So it's a matter of things kind of going, just that chaos, that, not chaos, but that not everything's feeling double-minded. And that's not necessarily double-minded because it's actually double-minded, but it's just feels that way because you haven't really, either you haven't picked a stance or you're at odds with somebody else you're dealing with. And like I said, this could like, it may not even be a romantic situation. This could be in a workplace. This could be, you know, you guys are both in a place to create and to lead. So like, it could be a business partnership, but either way, it's causing not chaos, but conflict and strife. Let's go with this one. There you go. Fear. There you go. And this is, okay, so I always love this card. Fear on this, but I like it because it is a different aspect of it. Like you see her, she's like cowered in there and it's all light in there. So I see it almost in a light way where it's like it's like fighting the battles for you type thing normally. For your reading per se, I don't necessarily see it like only that way though. Because I read these cards both intuitively and with the meaning, but sometimes the intuitive goes above that for me. But again, double-minded. So it's like you might be cowering on one way, you might be cowering, or not cowering, but, you know, sad and showing this, and then this is like stoic and like, you know, like, yeah, like solid, whether it's good or bad. I mean, it's dark too. It's the same way, dark versus light. So this is very parallel to that. So it's like you're showing two different sides. Inside you might be crying and sad. And that might be your light though. That might be like, you might be in there because I'm protected. Yeah, you might be protected in there. While another part of you is kind of going crazy and taking care of business. Like dealing with the dark stuff. So that's the other thing too with this is instead of going to a place of fear of deciding you're separate from yourself and you need to hide so that another part of yourself, you need to understand that if this, for those of you that this is this is like within yourself, you need to understand that that's still all part of you. This is just a part of you that's dealt with that longer or that's dealt with those situations. And so that's why that's out right now. And that's, you know, that part of you is dealing with everything. And that's still a part of you. Like, it's all you. It's not like you need to be afraid that the darkness that comes out of you is going to be this big bad guy. It's just, that's what I'm getting from this, is you don't need to be afraid of that. And the more you get afraid between the difference of this and this, the more different those become, to where there is no clarity as far as which way do you go, or which way do the people that are following you go. So there's an element of, you need to be honest with yourself that your energy might be its own energy, or parts of your energy, you know, but when working with other people or working with different parts of you, what's meant to happen is going to happen. So as long as you're doing your best and you're being authentic in yourself, that's gonna, like, it's gonna be not a rhythm, but like a, not a melody, but basically like it intertwines with the people around you. Or, you know, you become what you need to be for this person to follow. Say this is a person, and that side becomes what they need to be for that. And it all together makes a full picture. So it's not so much of, oh, you're different than me, or this part is different than me, or I need this sadness and I need to stay focused on this, or I need to be here. Like, you don't need to get so hung up on where you are versus where you'd want to be, or that the other part of you is so different, because ultimately all together you create the whole picture, at least of yourself or of this union or whatever it is. So that's what I'm feeling for you guys, is to get out of this strife to where you can't act, or to where you can't even decide or see enough to, excuse me, I feel like I have to sneeze. Excuse me. To get out of the thing where, you know, you feel like you can't even see enough in order to make a choice, because part of the Page of Swords is trying to get all the information before they move. They want to know that they know what's expected of them. They want to know all the details. They want to know how things work. Like, they're trying to figure everything out. So part of not feeling like you have everything figured out is seeing this as two separate entities, even if it's within yourself, or even if it's with somebody else. Yes, if it's a separate entity with someone else, you're separate from them. But ultimately what's supposed to happen will happen. You just do you. You don't need to worry about you looking different than the other person, or the other person looking different than you. It'll all work out. But the more you focus on that, the more different it becomes, and the more unaligned it becomes. Yeah, there you go. Access clear thinking. That's funny too. It says access clear thinking. And I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, like how you need to go about doing that. But she's like holding, excuse me, no, sniffly. She's holding this, I don't know, yarn string. I mean, it's like ribbony, but then here it looks yarny. But she's holding it, it's almost like gauze. And it's like, when it's all bundled up in one, you don't know what's where. You don't know, like, if the end's here, the end's here. You don't know what's where. It's all like overlapping. And that's kind of like, you're looking at this thing that's all bundled up, and you're like, instead of seeing it as one, as, okay, well, this is what's meant for this situation, so I'm just going to go forward and keep doing my part. You're kind of just like focusing on, well, this part's here. There's a darker part here. This part's blue. This part's red. I mean, those colors aren't there, but I'm just saying, you know, like an analogy. You're focusing on what's there and like trying to keep things separate and trying to organize it. But that's not your purpose in this moment right now. You're not supposed to be trying to separate you from the other person or decide what's you and what's the other person. You're just supposed to keep doing you, whether this is you, whether this is you. You're not supposed to be apologetic about it though. Like, you're supposed to understand, as long as you have the right intentions and, you know, your focus is on the higher good, you're not, you know, you can't just worry like that. And it's naturally going to come. It's naturally going to unravel and show itself to where you can see the different ones. But it's not supposed to be you that creates this separation so much. Like, I don't know, that's kind of what I see for you guys. I hope that resonated. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, the biggest thing is you have to access clear thinking. You have to see the union, both you with somebody else, even if you're different, or you within yourself. And just know that this is all meant to happen. This is how things are being done. It doesn't have to be a place of fear. It doesn't have to be this place where you're afraid that one side does this and one side does this. You might have your moments of, you know, needing to be this. And then you might have your moments of being this. And that's okay. That's who you are. That's fine. For some of you. Otherwise, it's like I said, otherwise it's a multiple people situation. So, okay. So I hope that helped you guys. Hey, pile 2. This is your pile. It's got an amber stone on it. Or resin, amber resin. I think that's what amber resin, I think that's what it's called. It helps for lifting your spirits, comforting the sick. It's warmth and nurturing. It's super nurturing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like a really nice, loving, warm energy. It's a potent healer. It clears the mind, eases stress, and calm your nerves. It helps you to release phobias and fears. And it also helps to manifest money. And it's highly protective as well. I love this piece. Also can help for relieving depression, emotional healing. It can help you get a more positive perspective in life. It can help with your creativity, clearing the mind, balancing emotions, like I said. Yeah, it's really awesome. So, okay, and then let's get started. I'm trying to gather myself. I'm just gonna say right up front, I'm on the 3rd day of a juice fast, and I tried not saying it on some videos, and then I watched a video from yesterday that I did where I said literally, I go, oh, the number's 25, so 25 divided by 2 is 7. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. So if I seem off or, you know, anything like that, that's just why. And yeah. But yeah, let's see. Let's start with the tarot. And I'll go ahead and put the deck names in the description below. Let's see. And I don't read reversals, so. Okay, so 9 of Pentacles. There we go. Page of Cups. Knight of Swords. And, excuse me. 6 of Wands. I said excuse me because my finger was getting stuck. That's funny. Okay. Again, like I said, communication's a little different right now. So 9 of Pentacles, it's basically energy where you're kind of there, you're almost there, but you're in a place to where you can actually feel like you can take a vacation, you can take a break, and things aren't going to fall apart. So what you've been working on, it could be business related or just in general, something you've been working on in a project or, you know, a pattern you're trying to instill. You really could be at a place that you can actually take a break. Page of Cups, it's potential or messenger of, and I really do feel with this card, it may be messenger right now. But for basically an emotional release or emotional or psychic message, basically. So sometimes a lot of times it's a message coming through from someone, or someone's going to be bringing you a message, and it'll create that response, an emotional or intuitive response in you. So that's what'll happen in you in relation when it's a messenger. A lot of times I don't read it as a messenger though. I usually read it as as just the potential for that energy coming in. But yeah, some of you right now, there's something coming in, a message coming in, or somebody could be bringing something new, or an opportunity's coming up. Knight of Swords is movement, but it's movement in the intellectual and mental, and it's basically the energy of you want to get all your, not so much your dotted I's and crossed T's, but rather you want to know exactly what's expected of you. You want to know what to expect. You want to know how to put out a plan, and you're just go with that. So it's a very like in your head mental energy, still moving. It's not a page. It is moving because the page isn't moving. But yeah. And then Six of Wands, leadership. A lot of times it's leadership, and but it's a positive energy. It's a joy in leading or in guiding others. And I really feel in this card right now, there is a really big, okay, for some of you, there's a really big emphasis for you on you versus the people below you. So you might have been thinking about that recently, that, you know, where you are, how high up you are compared to before, or compared to the people you're with. Maybe in some ways it might make you feel like you're going to topple over. Like it may feel, I feel like that for some of you right now. You may feel like you're kind of not top heavy, but basically like this, you want to have joy in it, and you're in a joyful place, or you're trying to have the joy in it, but you do feel like this is really all new, and you feel like you're just afraid that like anything can knock you down. And it's only because you've been used to being either lower before or seeing yourself that way. For some of you, that's not for all of you. So yeah, it's interesting though, because the Page of Cups has this messenger, and the person they're bringing the message to, or not the person, but the person they're facing, but she's not really looking, is her. So it feels like whatever this message is that's going to come to you, whatever that's coming, this, I feel like just this emotional release. Like there's a fish there, and it's like emotion, and it's like pouring out, but also this card is very like drab colors. So I feel like there's a lot that needs to come out that's kind of been held back on your end, or in the situation you're dealing with, or in the person, the messenger. Maybe the person that's coming to you is like finally gonna like confess feelings. I mean, it could be feelings, it could be romantic, but in general, I feel like just confess like something that's gonna stir you up. But either way, it's gonna happen when you least expect it, when you finally come to a place to where you're okay to just rest and relax and trust that the universe has it, and you've already done everything you're supposed to do, and you've built up, and you actually are able to have joy in that. So that's when it seems like it's going to happen. The other energy, I feel like, okay, so there's also an element here where, again, I feel like, okay, so this one's looking at these guys, or not looking at, but I just feel that feels like it's going to topple over. And then this one's looking down, and so always looking down. So I feel like it might be this person's energy coming to you, or the energy coming to you in general in your life right now. It could even be for some of you tempting you to go there, tempting your resting place to start thinking, well, are you okay to rest? Are you really good to rest? Because look, you might fall off. Like this one, it feels like they're looking at how quickly things are moving below them. And so they're like, okay, well, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to figure this out. And because the Knight of Swords, but it's also like a stuck in your head mentality in that movement. So moving, but stuck in your head the whole time you're moving. It's almost like someone like being on their phone. I mean, I know it's not the phone, but being on your phone and walking and playing a game. It's like, it's like, okay, come on, just go, focus on the going. And that's that energy. The energy in this is really, this is emotional, but it's been that way. It's been so stuck and not coming out because they've been stuck in their head, and because they've been afraid to move. For those of you dealing with somebody coming in like that, for those of you where this is you and this is the energy that keeps trying to distract you, you keep being tempted to go into these you keep being tempted from this place to go into this mentality and this mentality. Those of you that do that are just, you're here and it's like, even, yeah, I mean, you're put in a place to have joy in this place, but you keep kind of looking down, and like this one, like I was saying, is it's like they're focused on the movement of everything around them or the dust moving, and it just feels like they feel like if they weren't on that horse, they just get swept away. So it's like they might, I feel like some of you, part of your, not downfall, but fear or, you know, backtracking into habits or situations that aren't serving you right now or aren't part of your path right now. Part of that is putting too much focus on this horse, putting too much value on this horse. The horse isn't the one only, like you feel like, some of you feel like, or have been feeling like, or dealing with those thoughts that if you weren't on the horse, you just get dragged out. So some of you, that could be a relationship situation. Some of you, that could be in your living situation where you're just telling yourself, oh, well, it's only this good because I have this moving me. But in reality, the whole person, like the horse can't get you on it. You have to get on the horse. You made the decision. So you need to give yourself a little bit more credit so you can build yourself up, so you can become this person that's willing to be here. Because this is where you are, but in your mind, you've kind of been like, what about me? This used to be me. And this is like, you've been belittling yourself in your mind so much that it's really been hard for you to be here, because this is what's been inside. And this is the emotional. It's like the emotional messenger. I really feel for a lot of you, it's like the emotional messenger brings all these. It's like, hey, it's almost like, you know, angel, devil on the shoulder. And it's like, this is like, I'm not saying this is the devil, but you know, it's like that temptation to go into that emotional place. And it really is because part of you really feel like, and part of you have been telling yourself you're only so far the way you are because of this, not giving yourself the credit. Because when you give yourself the credit, you can start trusting yourself and you can start seeing yourself in a better light as adept, as capable of being in this path that you're actually supposed to be on, or this path that you're in, but wobbling in your mind in because you don't feel like you deserve it. So some of you, a lot of you, maybe when you're in this situation and here, you may feel kind of imposter syndrome. Like you may feel like, why do I get this? Like, why should I even, like, I'm not even there. Like you might really not feel like you're as far as you are. And it's because you've been talking yourself down or seeing yourself lower. So even if those of you that have positive mindsets, whatever, and you don't actually, not positive mindsets, but positive self-talk, and you don't actually talk yourself down, you still do talk, you do give, it's almost like that concept of like kneecapping your sentences. So it's like, okay, if I need a favor from you, or if something bothered me that you did, me being like, oh, well, that kind of bothered me a little bit. Instead of saying it bothered me, what you did bothered me, saying that bothered me. Or if like I want to do something, just be like, oh, it's just this, or I'm just going to do this. Like it's kneecapping your sentences. It's saying that it's like a little habit of basically undermining, like in a little bit way, what you're saying so that you can feel comfortable asking that. Or you can feel comfortable declaring that, because it's not as good as if you didn't have that little kneecapping, you know, phrase. If you didn't just like undermine things or say things a little bit less direct. So that's kind of what it is it's like you've been feeling like that. You've been feeling like some of you may be dealing with that. And I mean, it's that way to where it's like, it's not necessarily directly negative self-talk. It may be so indirect that you're just undermining yourself and not realizing it. Okay, let's just go from here. Let's go this one, extremes. But see, that's the thing too, is, okay, this is such a weird card to me because it's like the sweat there and everything, and it can be seen like a sexual thing. But then like, I mean, the hand could be his own hands too. So he could just be really hot and then there's like cold water there. So I don't like to like automatically see it as like, ooh, steamy. But like, especially when the reading doesn't seem like it's going that direction. But again, it's extremes. It's like when you're up here, you keep looking at the other. When they're there, they have this ice, what looks like ice water. And just this extreme mentality. And then you have the book here, so it's like you have this concept, this idea to look into it, to try to see where you really are. Like, who are you, instead of saying, okay, I'm this person or I'm this person. Like, it seems like for some of you, you have the self-awareness to want to move forward and to want to heal from this. It's not like you're like, oh, ignorant and just there and everything. No, I think some of you actually really have this self-awareness of like wanting to seek help and wanting to get better in this and wanting to do all that. It's just it's a little habit you kind of get into. This is what these fears keep you from fully being able to do that. But the only reason they do is because you tell yourself, well, that's okay. You tell yourself it's necessary for you to look and see it. Everything's moving because this horse is so powerful, and you tell yourself it's necessary because you need to see, the other people value the other people. But it's like, you can value the other people, but that doesn't mean pulling yourself down, or that doesn't mean feeling sorry for them to the point to where you're not willing to stand in your position. Because sometimes for some of you, okay, I feel like some of you need to hear this, that your position isn't just a position of leadership to lord over other people, because I know you don't, most of you I don't believe are even wanting that, but there's still, through your position, you can bring light and bring better opportunities to those other people. So it's not like, it's like when you take your heart and your humility or desire for humility, I feel like for some of you, when you take that and you put it in this position of leadership that you're in, you have all these opportunities to make way for all these people that normally might not have if they didn't have someone like you in that position of leadership. So you are part of that brightening things up. You are part of that. It's not a matter of beating yourself up or saying, oh, I'm only here because the horse isn't the one that got you on them. You got on it yourself. You're the one that had to try. You're the one who had to, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, maybe, but like, trying to, learn to ride the horse, learning to do this. You're the one that had to learn to be in that position in the first place. So it's not like it's by accident that you're there. And it's not just like, oh, I feel sorry for them because, like, look where they are and look where I am. No, you can do amazing things with that, and it'll even benefit them. But yeah, it's a really like extremes. You've been stuck on the extremes is what it seems like. And that's what's been keeping you. This, honestly, if you feel led to it, I would check out Pile 1's reading as well. If you feel led to it, because they had kind of a similar concept in theirs. So, and that's the thing too, is this light is like, I feel like that's where the light is coming from, and that's the only thing that's lighting things up. So it's like, it's just far away. It feels far away. It's big, but it's far away. So this concept of like lack of connection. So you may feel sometimes, as far as like with the divine or with spirit, you may feel like you understand and you trust you're supposed to be here, and you trust that, the divine's so powerful, spirit's so powerful, the universe is powerful and has got everything together and got everything for you and will work in that way, whatever's meant to happen. But there's a distance there. So you might also like feel not abandoned, but feel very like lost when you get into these mentalities. of just this little picture instead of like fully seeing everything. So I feel like there's an element of that for some of you. We got all the different suits, so yeah. And then it's a yes. So, I mean, it's a yes, you can be here, but let's see, figure B, interesting. But I do feel like there's an element here, like I said, there's one person here, and then there's one here. So there's two-sided. So you might be like trying to do this, but then inside you're like, ugh, like this is so heavy. Like there's two different pictures. So it's like for you to do that, like you're really just supposed to, it's a yes, you're supposed to surrender. You're supposed to go to this place. For those of you that that's what that is. For those of you that this is, you know, an actual messenger person coming, then that's going to be the case, and that'll happen when you're in, you know, a place to surrender. But I really think most of you that's not the case. I'm trying to see. It's funny, these two cards are like the same colors, and these two cards are the similar colors. So it's almost like for those of you that this is a different person coming in, or a person bringing a message, it would be that I feel like this is what's the message of this, and then for this energy is backed by this of, okay, I want to be a leader. I want to be able to show that I can rest. I want to be able to show that I can go on vacation. I want to be able to lead other people and let them know that, you know, I'm the boss. Not in like a bad way, but like say you have trouble with that. So you're like, okay, you know what? I need to act like I'm the one in charge. I don't need to ask everyone if everything's okay all the time. Not everything's okay, but ask everyone permission for me to do stuff all the time. Like I'm actually the boss. So some of you might be coming into your energy of this, and that's what that is. And this is a messenger coming. But this is what they're coming with, this like questioning of, well, everything's moving so much, and it's funny too, there's a parallel with his foot in this. So there's like this whole feeling of like, he feels like he is the horse, for those of you that this is this person. And like, it's just so much like armor and like guarded. And so that's what that messenger, for those of you that are dealing with another person with messenger coming or whatever, that's what the energy it feels like, is where it's really guarded energy, and it's like an emotional release because they're coming like that. But it's weird because I think the only reason it's an emotional release because of that is because you're not used to it. So it's not so much that it's an emotional release or that it's really as great as it seems. It's I mean, neither nor. I'm not going to go there, but at least not in this reading, but because that's not the point. But what the point is this emotional release. Even though it's an emotional release, it's really dull colors, so it may only be an emotional release, like I said, because you're used to this guardedness and this fear and this like torturing themselves. So you need to kind of watch out for that too, I feel like, for one group of you, because you might feel like this is some intimate emotional release situation, but it's like almost like a false sense of that just because of what you're used to in them, and it's not actually how you would normally feel if you weren't so used to it normally being so different. I don't know, I hope that made sense. But yeah, so that's pile 2. Let me know what resonated, what didn't. Like I said, that was speaking to a ton of groups. Singles, non-singles, people perspective, work situation, all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for all the liking, commenting, and subscribing you guys are doing. It's really helping my channel grow. It helps me understand what you guys want from me in this channel, what you guys want to see more of. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go to the next pile. But yeah, like I said too, if you feel drawn to pile 1, I would suggest you check it out because there's some similarities in that. Okay, pile 3. So this is your pile with the Desert Rose selenite. It's good for accessing future and past lives, intuitive work, self-confidence, self-worth. It's heart-centered awareness. It clears negativity from objects. It's also really good for like if you have old programs or mentalities and paradigms that kind of need to be shifted and you need to be healed and shed, basically grow out of. It's really good at dissolving those. But yeah, it's helpful for strength and meditation and, like I said, affirmation. And it activates and clears the chakras, and bringing them back into proper alignment. I don't remember where it was, but I did read one place that what is it? I don't know, it goes with like Virgo energy. Like it's good for Virgo. Okay. And I will say right now, right offhand, I've been saying this in all the videos because I just don't want to screw up and like not have said that, but I'm on day 3 of a juice fast right now, and I looked up earlier, there was on one of my a video I did yesterday, I got the card and I was like, oh, 25, what did I say? I go 25 divide by 2 is 7. And I was trying to say like 2 plus 5, doing the digits, numerology. But yeah, so my mind is here, my intuition is here, but how I communicate it to you, that's up to the universe and very different than the way I have been normally. So, but yeah, we can get started. Let's see. So, pile 3. Start with the tarot. And I don't read reversals, so. Here, I'll also show you the cards too. So this is a star card. Strength card. 2 of Pentacles. And 9 of Pentacles. So some of you guys may be dealing with like a work business or just, material stuff type situation, money. With the Pentacles here. But not all of you. So the Star card it's a matter of following good omens and, trusting things you've been, promises you've received or you've heard in the past, and just pushing through with those, even in dark times too, like just even not so much dark times. I mean, it is even in dark times, but in this card for you guys, what I'm seeing is like even in like stagnant times when it seems like maybe nothing's really happening, kind of like not creating the magic yourself, but realigning to the magic, reconnecting. The Strength is a matter of, it's kind of a duality card. It's like where, the Lion normally in the actual deck for like the Rider-Waite style deck, the Lion is trusting and having compassion with, or not having compassion, basically fighting their instincts to devour the woman. And in doing that is getting more of a like well-rounded connection and compassion from the woman. The woman is fighting her instincts to run or freak out or whatever, and trusting the Lion and being compassionate with the Lion. So together they're stronger than individually, but they also gain in their strength when they do that because they see what they're capable of. I don't usually say that last part, so some of you guys might really need to hear that. That you gain in your strength when you do that because you see what you're capable of. And then the 2 of Pentacles is a matter of juggling things, juggling priorities, opportunities, things like that. But really it's a lot of time too, like juggling, like trying to like just juggle your priorities. And Nine of Pentacles a lot of times it's a retreat situation, but it's a vacation, but it's getting to that mentality where you trust that you're able to take that you trust that what you've been developing, what you've been working on is at a place to where it can kind of work and have its own pattern, to where not everything's going to fall, or things aren't going to fall apart when you step aside and take a break. So I really feel like these two are very, like, it's flanking the spread, and it's very, like, they're really parallel. Like, she's reaching to this, and then she's reaching to that. So what I said about, like, even in a stagnant place, like, aligning to the energy, to your promises, to your hope, and then she's doing that. She's having to reach out to do that as well. So it's like, I feel like in this place where it seems like there's nothing there and you're just kind of in this quietness, the more you do that, the more you trust and you do that, you do it when it's difficult, and you push through, and you maybe for some of you, it's working with the people around you that might be difficult, or working with, even in yourself, working with yourself, having compassion with yourself. I feel like some of you guys need to hear that, having compassion with yourself, to trust that, you're meant for greater things. You're not greater things that, like, you're in a dark place or anything. I mean, some of you maybe, but that's not what I was saying. But yeah, I mean, that's funny too. It's 17-8, so 8-8-2-9, but 8-8, and 8 is a matter. It's really about looking back, kind of, and not looking back, but being diligent in the work, like what you're doing right now. It's surveying things, seeing the past, seeing the future, and what you're going to do. It's making changes and growing that. A lot of times with the 8 too is there is an element of boundaries, of knowing, limitations, and knowing not what's expected or what's asked of you per se, but just knowing, like, how things work and the structure and all that, and then adapting and deciding what works best for you and growing in that. So it's almost like the 7, where it's like, okay, let's try to change the future, not change the future, but look at the past, look at the future, and what do I want to do, and like changing, kind of like the Justice card. But it's different than that, because 8 is going to a place now of, okay, if I need to put boundaries down, I will. If I need to understand that these boundaries are here, and so I need to create my own path, I will. So there's a creative element in that too as well. Like an infinity, like it's like the 8 infinity, it's the cycle and understanding cycles. So in doing that, it's like I said, it's like, where you are, and then like, this is still your hope. So you're trying to align with it, even if you look different than it, even though it looks like something unattainable. And sometimes it's again a duality. It is, I feel like a duality, where it's like you're juggling these two elements of where you are and where you want to be. So I really feel for some of you, it's a mentality of, 1 minute you feel like the lion, and 1 minute you feel like the woman. Some of you, not all of you, that's not for all of you. And so it's a mentality of knowing what stance you want to take in this in order to get there. Like, what is it even asking you? But ultimately, it's a matter of reaching out. Like, you're in a place right now, you are reaching out. And if you keep on pushing through and going through the way you are like this, then you're going to get to a place to where you can actually rest in that. You can rest and trust that you have built this up from what looked like nothing in the middle of nowhere. And you have something to actually grasp hold of. Like, she's literally holding it. So it's like she's gone to a place where she's gone from nothing, or from like a string to something, to now she can actually hold this. And then a bird can come, I think an owl, or I don't know, I can't say it from here, can come and land on it. So it's like she's able to almost like extend a branch. She, in her rest, in her trusting, in her reaching out in that way, and like in a joyful mentality, in a abundance manifestation mentality, when she does that, she attracts love to her. She attracts life and healing more. So she's like, again, like I said, she's extending a branch. So she's like, it's almost like she's a tree, like she's growing and she's able to feed others and she's able to bless others and help others. So that's what it is, you're in this, that's just what I see is like, there's duality here, duality here, duality here. And then this, it's like, but because you persevered and you pushed through and you kept sight of this, even when you didn't know which one to be or what to do, you just kept going forward. There's something here. This is a heart. So there's this. So I feel like for some of you, one of those, because look, one is like really almost like a phantom one and one's like solid. So I feel like for some of you, one option might seem way more solid and you're not necessarily sure if that means it's good though. And the other one feels like it's like not even real. So for some of you, you're dealing with in your mind, feeling like one option that you have, one thing you're doing is like not necessarily too good to be true. For some of you, maybe it is, but it's like, is that really even possible? Like, and yet you're still juggling it as if it is. So it's like, and it's not because it's not, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying you're still in a state to have to juggle it, even though in your mind, you don't really have the energy, you don't feel like you do to juggle it because it doesn't seem like it's worth it. So some of you have really been struggling with, is this other option worth it? Or is this worth it? Like, is this ever going to come down? Am I ever going to actually really connect? So some of you guys are doing that. And it's like, you still have this hope that whether it's this one or whether this one's going to become this, you have this hope that this other phantom one is going to solidify. And that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you connecting. And that's what keeps you, again, like she's got those two sides and then she's got the lamb there and then she's got there. So it's like in that heart of doing that, you're extending the branch. You're attracting love. You're attracting, whether it's romantic love or just in general loving energy, you're attracting that loving energy. You're attracting those that are ready to be helped, are ready to be loved on. It's not like you're attracting people that are codependent, that are just like, okay, I want you to try to fix me, but I'm not willing to do anything myself. It's literally, you're attracting people that are gonna be, or people or energies or opportunities that are actually ripe for the picking and they're ready to grow and to heal. And some of it, like I said, for some of you, it's in your hand, not in your hands, but by your influence or by seeing you loving on them and by seeing you as an example. This is a really awesome reading, pile 3. So yeah, okay. I'm encouraged. Hold on, before I do that. But some of you do really struggle right here. Like she's looking down and I feel like she feels like everything might unravel. Like it looks like her skirts like could like fall right there. And I see her looking down. So it's like this idea like things might just unravel. Like you might feel vulnerable while you're entertaining the possibility of something that doesn't even seem real. Some of you really feel vulnerable in this state or are in that place. And this is the energy it's going to. Okay. Trust. There you go. I like how this is very, look at that. Look how parallel that is. Like the colors and the way that works. This card is so deep too. I like this card. But yeah, I mean, it's a matter of just trusting. It's like, there's so many different ways to look at this because it's like, okay, well, she's in here and she feels comforted sort of. But then it's like, you know, I'm noticing something I don't see normally. Okay, so for this duck to sit, this duck is sitting on this egg, right? But the thing is what they see in their nest is empty. So what you might have looks like it's not even there, but it's not because it's not there. It might be because it's too big to fit in there and you actually do have it. Some of you need to hear that. But for some of you, other people are seeing this. Other people are seeing this opportunity or seeing your potential in this, and you're on top of it and you don't even see it. For some of you, other people see more in you than you see yourself. Other people see your creation quicker and more clearly than you see yourself, or your development than you see yourself. And I feel like for some of you, you need to hear too is, this might be you, but you're identifying with this. And it's not because ultimately I feel like it's out of fear. The ones of you that are identifying with this, it's out of fear. And it's a situation of like, I don't want to come out of my egg yet. So it's like, you might be here and doing this and trying to do this, but if you're identifying here, it makes this so much harder because you're not trusting that there is something that will manifest for you when you do that. But you're there. I mean, you're in such good energy and just, yeah, because in order for them to stay here, laying on top of it, like they're looking to the moon. They're looking at outside, like omens, and they're looking, it's almost like the moon card, like, or not moon card, star card, actually. Yeah, there you go. Look at that, actually. Duh. Okay. They're looking at the star. It's like the star card. They're following what they've been shown. Okay, the cycles. You know, I'm supposed to lay on it this much. I'm supposed to do this, but there's nothing there. Okay, I'm just gonna keep laying. There's something that's gonna come. You know, it's like that. So it's like in order. But the thing is you might be there doing that, but sometimes you feel like you're here. You feel more helpless, or you feel like the creation that hasn't even come out of the shell yet. But you're not, and it's the only reason is, like I said, this is just too big to fit in that. It's too big to fit in your paradigm of what to expect. And it's not because it's not coming, it's just because you've never experienced something as great as what is for you right now. What is coming, what is trying to come through. So you can't even fathom it. I find it funny. This is the duck, and that's a duck. I mean, I guess logically it might make sense because it's really foreign, but this is a duck and that's a duck, and they're not looking at each other. They're looking at this. Or not they are, but they're looking at this. So it's like, some people may also, for some of you, you sometimes get treated like that too, though. You get treated as you're this like new thing in this eggshell that isn't ready to come out or can't come out. And the more you go into that mentality of that's who you are, the more you get treated that. And the more you get treated that, the more you've been going into that mentality. But you've got this. I mean, look at that. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if you can see it now or not. All you have to do is keep trusting, keep, put the line out, put this out. Like, you know what I mean? That's, yeah. Hey, awaken your vulnerability. Yeah. Because if you say you're this, then you disassociate yourself from this. Not disassociate yourself, but you see yourself different. If you say you're this, but it's out of fear or lack of trusting, then you don't feel comfortable being vulnerable. So again, you're telling yourself, in order to be vulnerable, you have to be hidden away in an egg. So coming out of that egg and being free and willing to come out and trust that everything is in line, that's when you'll be allowing yourself to be vulnerable, yet getting strength in that. I think it's funny too, because like she's got the heart, they've got this, and then like she's got this rose, and it's like idea that like she's a figment, like she's made up of, okay, this could be a picture. I mean, it could be a picture of legs, or it could be a frame there to show the picture, but there's nothing there. So let's say it's a picture of legs, right? And then this is there. So it's like she feels like a figment. She feels like a figment of what everyone else sees, instead of what she's trusting. So it's like you need to awaken your vulnerability. But I mean, Cupid's shooting the bow. It's like, if she wasn't really there, why would Cupid be trying to shoot the bow? Like, if there wasn't something here, why would that happen? So it's really there. It's just the people, like, they're supernatural, that's angel or whatever, and then like that's Cupid, or an angel, I guess, or whatever. And it's like, they're the ones that can see each other, but they can't see each other. So you can be seen by this light, by this, but other people that are like on a lower vibration might not see you, and they might just see glimpses and think that that's you. And you can't get stuck in that pattern of seeing yourself only as others see you. Even if it's not necessarily bad, it's not the full picture. You're not just the woman, and you're not just the lion. Okay. I hope that resonated with you guys. Thanks again for liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps me. Lets me know exactly what you want to hear, and like I said, what resonates. But yeah, for this is the pile you picked. It's got the lapis lazuli. It's really pretty. It helps with truth and enlightenment. Yeah, excuse me, enlightenment. It stimulates the pineal gland, opens your third eye, enhances visionary ability, and boosts imagination. It's really good for creative people and artists in general. It's good for discerning inner truth and exploring past lives and developing your intuition. So, and I will give you a heads up right now. I'm on day 3 of a juice fast, so my brain has not been typical, or at least more so my talking ability, communication ability. So like the other day, there was a card that said 25, and I was like, oh, 25, or wait, hold on. Oh, 25 divided by 2 is 7, instead of saying like, 2 plus 5, the whole like numerology. So yeah, or numeric value. So yeah, just bear with me. We'll start with the tarot. And I don't read reversals, so. So yeah, we got, here, I'll show you. A 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. Someone's got, some of you, this is really dealing like hardcore with like material and financial stuff, and possibly businesses as well. And 7 of Swords. So 9 of Pentacles, I think every single pile. I think 3 of the 4 piles in this video have gotten the 9 of Pentacles. I could be wrong. No, because last one did, and the one before that did, I believe. So yeah, I think 3 of the 4 readings today have gotten the 9 of Pentacles. So, and then actually, yeah, no, and then, yeah, so 9 of Pentacles. And so 9 of Pentacles is about, I've literally explained this every single time too, is about, it's kind of being in a place to rest, and it's like a vacation thing where you finally feel like you've done enough work, and not even you've done enough work, but you've done enough work to where it can sustain itself, to where what you're building isn't going to collapse if you take a break. It's that energy. 10 of Pentacles is, basically you've built everything up, and now it's time to not branch it, but share the, pass the legacy down. So teach others, and grow and pass that down so others can grow with it and pass it and grow on. 2 of Pentacles is actually, yeah, last one got Two of Pentacles too. It's juggling. You know, you're trying to juggle options. You're juggling time. A lot of times it's time or options, or basically just trying to get everything done, trying to do things. There's an element of time in it a lot, and trying to do everything and trying to figure out which thing to do and how to do it and what to do. But it's really more so just juggling, like physically just trying to get it all done. And then Seven of Wands, or not Wands, I mean Seven of Swords. Hold on. Some of you might be needing to hear Wands. Well, I'll just say Seven of Swords is, people read it, a lot of people read it as like a thief card. I generally don't. I will, depending on the reading, but I read it more so an element of like, okay, well, if I'm not going to get support, I'm just going to go ahead and do this anyways. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in myself. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's that kind of energy of just like, okay, I'm just going to go forward, whether I get support or backed up or not. But because I said Seven of Wands, I'm going to share Seven of Wands energy. Some of you, that might be operating in that way instead, or vice versa. Seven of Wands energy, which is not this card, but for those of you that need to hear, is more so trying to defend your position. So it's like you've made it, or you're in your place, and like, you know, say a project, or, you know, in a creative venture or something, you know, with people, and you're trying to defend your position. You're trying to keep yourself up there. You're trying to back everyone else away. Like, not back everyone else away. Maybe that's what some of you need to hear. But basically keep other people from taking your position. You're trying to defend your position. So some of you might be doing this with that energy and that heart behind it, of trying to defend your position, trying not to be replaced. So we'll see what the rest of the reading says, but shows before I get into that. But it's interesting though, because I know that's not a key. I mean, it's like a twig or something, whatever. But it reminds me of this key thing. So it makes me think of keys. So it's like one bird has the element or the beginnings or the image of what could be a key or could be a tool like that. Heck, you don't even know. Like, what if the bird thinks it's a key because it's just holding it right here based off how it feels in the mouth, but like anybody else doesn't. So some of you may be dealing with a situation where you, or the situation you're dealing in, where it feels like you have an opportunity, feels like you have a grasp on something that might not actually be what you think it is. Because this one really has it. Like, this one has it, but this one's just like taking it. And the reason why, like, this energy of like needing to just go forward and take it, it might be because this is what you've had this whole time and you're just fed up. And you want to defend your position, because like, if you're, say you're like this bird, right? If you're this bird and you're holding on to this, it's like you think you have the key, and you probably do, but you're starting to look at how you're getting looked at by other birds. And it's like, wait a sec, do I actually have this? It's like this juggling, like, what am I juggling? What am I juggling? Like I said it before, like, it's not always a decision card. That's more so, the swords and other cards like that. But there might be an element of it feels different than it should, like in your mouth, or the heaviness or the weight, and other people are starting to look at you and you're starting to question, like, what is this I'm actually holding on to? Like, is this really what I think it is? And so when you get to that place, you're like, oh my God, this might get stolen from me. This might be taken from me. And so you might be tempted to go into this energy. But I'm not sure this feels like exactly this bird, like doing that exactly. I mean, I know it doesn't have to look exact. For some of you, it might be. But it's just interesting because this is this and then this is this. So it might be that you had this and this is like pacifying you, making you think you have it. And then the more you get looked at, the more you start realizing maybe that's not what it is. And then you look and you realize someone else has it. So you have to go steal it. Like, I really do feel like some of you, this is a matter of not so much stealing it, but like I said, defending your territory, feeling like if you don't get this thing, it's almost like not promotion, but if you don't get seen in this light, in this job soon, you're gonna get cut out. You're not gonna last. That type of mentality some of you might be dealing with. So it's like you have this, but you keep feeling like you're getting eyed and looked at, like you don't actually have anything, or what do you have? And you start questioning it. And so then that's why, like, some of you might really feel like you need to defend your territory and you need to be this. And some of you might be questioning doing this, but because this bird looks different and everything looks very different, and even the whole card, and it's also a swords is a mentality. You really, I think you're thinking about, a lot of you who are doing this are thinking about, oh, it would be so much easier if I just did it this way. Oh, it'd be so much easier if I just, not squash the competition like in an unethical way, but kind of like in an unethical way, or just took it and didn't have the support I want. Like if you take the card that other way I read it, of doing things without support, without being backed, it's like, you know what, I'm just going to do this on my own. I'm not going to get backed up. Everyone's waiting for me. Everyone thinks that this is who I am and this is what I deserve, because you've been pacified by that. And you're like, no, I want this whole thing of keys. So I want to do this on my own. I'm just going to do it because no one's backing me up yet. And like, it's not saying that this is what you're doing per se, but this is what you've been like thinking about. This is the energy, the thoughts some of you have been entertaining. That's interesting. Usually I like go throughout the whole thing, but these really stuck out to me. It's interesting too, because she has a bird here. It's a different type of bird, and not every card in this deck is birds either. So there's something I feel about how that bird is like holding on to her wrist, and then how this one's holding on to this. So it really feels like it's what you're familiar with. It's like, it's like the whole idea of what you value, or what, it's like, it's a verse or something, but it's basically like, what you value, like if are you valuing money? Are you valuing connection? Because this is Pentacles, yeah. I feel like it's more about the bird in this though for you, at least in this moment, for the group I'm talking to right now. I mean, like I said, I talked to multiple groups, so we'll see. We'll get through. But they're holding on. They're holding on to this relational. They're holding on to that. And it's like, and it might be a relational, like in a business sense. It might, because it's a Pentacles, it might be like you feel like you need to hold on. You need to, because it's like a dear life thing. It's a security thing. It's a provisions thing. But that's the same, like, okay, so some of you are dealing with two different people. This is you or the other person, and this is you or the other person. Okay, so some of you, this is like a relational thing, or what is it called? Like a business partnership, where you feel like you've kind of been like waiting it out, and you've been like trusting, because 10 of Pentacles is really about like I said, it's about passing it on. And the person you're dealing with has been like, okay, I'm going to pass this on to you. This is going to be good. And you've been holding on like this, and you've been holding on, but it just seems like they're just sitting there, and you're like, but I've got this in my mouth. I don't have this. I have this. How can you say that you're actually going to be there for me, or you're actually going to back me up in this business, or you're actually going to be a good partner in this, if you seem like you're just sitting there? And this is kind of like what, if you're the bird, this is what you're saying to them, or vice versa. But the thing is they're not just sitting there. Like, they look like they're sitting there because they're actually trusting in everything that's been built. But what is comfortable where they're sitting at, for some of you, that's what you're focusing on too. They might be sitting really comfortable, and you're like this, and you're like, okay, so time for you might not go by so bad. It might not be so hard to be waiting on your position, but where I am, it's harder to wait, because I'm constantly thinking about where I want to be and what I have in my, what I already have that isn't what I want. So I really feel like for some of you, like, you're dealing with an energy. You're either dealing with an energy that feels like it's taking from you quickly, or it's uneasy, unsure, and somebody and wants to either grab it before you're ready to give it, or go without your support because they're sick of waiting. Or you're this person and you're dealing with an energy that has just been taking their dear sweet time because they're too confident about things the way you've felt. And you felt like you've really connected with them and you've really shown them your trust, but they haven't moved considering all that. And you're just like, why can't they see that I've been struggling here? So that's really, wow, that's crazy. Let me see if there's anything else I'm seeing in this that... Yeah. It's will. It's like, okay, like your will against their will. Like you want this, you want to do this. And they're like, oh, trusting everything and going in this way different pace and pattern. Like I feel like this is the same person. I mean, I know it doesn't look exactly like, but it symbolizes to me. And then this too, it's like, okay, well, this person, like say that's like a moon or apple, or I mean, it's like a moon there too, or banana or something. But one, it's like, is this person an opening for you? Like, are you supposed to go through that? Are they going to help you? Or are they secret to you? Do they have a mask on and they're just looking to take themselves? And that's the thing is if you're this person, you can feel that about this person because you feel like a lack of compassion because they're so comfortable in their position and they allowed you to get so intertwined or connected or trusting them. So if you're this person, you can feel that about this person. If you're this person, she's looking at that. She's looking, so she sees. You can feel that about this person. You can feel like, they're about to take this. Is this an opportunity? Like, is this an actual partner? Is this somebody that I can trust? Or are they about to just take stuff and hide and not even show their true self? Like there's a matter of time here. Like it's a phases thing. It's like, what phase are we in? Where are we? And then this one's also waiting in phases. Like this is like they're doing what it seems like what they're supposed to be doing, but this person isn't feeling very comfortable in that. And there might even be a lack of communication in it because this one's all in communicating here or communicating or mentalizing. But this isn't about any communication. This is just like provisions and the solid and the material and all that. So it's like, okay, actions speak louder than words. I'm not seeing any actions. And then she's like, actions speak louder than words. Like she's stuck in hers, but she's not seeing anything from you either. Other than that you are starting to question things. Let's see, what does this have? Relinquish control, there you go. So, I mean, if this is you, hold on. Okay, there's a group here. Some of you're supposed to be in this resting place. You're supposed to be in this. And yeah, you're in this. And not in this, but this is where it's leading to. You know, this resting place is leading to this place to where you can give and you can pass your legacy on, okay? But you're looking at this and you're questioning this. And not trusting that you can actually pass your legacy on. And the more you see this insecurity, the more you don't trust. And it's because there's a lack of communication there. And so it's saying relinquish control, like literally trust. If you're shown that you're supposed to do this, whether it looks ready or not, just go for it. Just trust that that's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. That's for if that's who you are. If you're this one, it's about, again, relinquishing control. Like, it's not about your timing. Maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe there's something else that it's going to be even brighter and better if you trust this partnership you're with. It's just in this moment, it feels stagnant and it feels like they have it so much easier and you've had to fight your way through. Not saying fight your way through, but I feel like maybe that's what, for some of you. And it's also relinquish your control to the other person. So it's like you might, part of your frustration here is, again, like I said, comparing yourself to them. Like if you weren't actually looking at them, you might not be as frustrated to think that way. If she wasn't looking at this and not trusting that, she might not be so frustrated and confused as far as, like, you know what I mean? So it's like you guys are both so tied to this connection that you're holding it against the other. Like, oh, well, how could you be like that when I said for you to trust me? Or how could you be like that when you're watching me and look how easy you have it? So it's like you guys are both comparing yourselves to the other, and then that's why it's making it hard for you guys to move forward and to grow in this phase that you're in. Both of you guys, literally. I'm trying to see if there's anything I'm missing. Yeah, and some of you guys feel really vulnerable in this place because you feel like you could be cut out anytime, or you feel like you're being seen as just everybody else instead of the partner that you thought you were. Like, you're really questioning things as where you've been in this whole situation. So it's really a matter of, like, yeah, relinquishing control. Yeah. So I hope that resonated for you guys. Thanks again for all the likes, comments, and subscribing. It really helps my channel grow. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, and I'll try to go ahead and put the decks I used in this in the description below. So I will see you next time.